Hi there, everyone. Welcome and hello. Happy Saturday. Today, I wanted to talk to you. A lot of us are going through, the world is reeling right now. I don't know how you're feeling, but everyone I'm talking to, it's like I ask them, how you feeling? And they come up with something along the lines of like, I'm reeling. I don't know what to do. I'm crying and I'm frustrated and I'm staying off social media as much as possible. I am too, actually. People are saying this to me, but I am too. I'm staying off social media because there's so many landmines. People don't know what to believe, what to do. Should you protest? Should you not protest? Should you believe the people who are protesting? We all know that we feel really strongly right now, and it is a polarizing time. I don't think in all of our lifetimes, I don't think that there has ever been a more polarizing time. In human history, we are all like strongly for or against. There are such political divides, racial divides, cultural divides happening right now. To protest and not protest, is it like all these conspiracy theories? And it's actually to the point where conspiracy theories are not even like it used to be the fringes of society that would believe conspiracy theories. Today it's like everyone's believing that the conspiracy theories are actually perpetuated by mainstream media and we don't know what to believe anymore. And nobody knows what to do. And I didn't know what to do either. And so I figured I would go back to my source, my raison d'être, my being, and think, what can I do? What can I do right now to be in this, to make forward progress, to have change and the change that I want to see? I want to be right now. We are all on the precipice of making a huge change in the course of history, and we want to be on the right side of history. We are, at this point, we are the change makers. We're the game changers of this time in history. And it reminded me of something that was iconic to me, something that I knew, my path, and I want to share it with you because it was given to me by a story. And the reason that I actually want to bring this story up now, I'll share with you that just last week, someone made some sort of posting insulting one race, and I won't get into which race. I'll just say insulting one race in defense of another race. And I responded to him saying like, do you not get the hypocrisy of if you're throwing hate towards one race in defense of as an anti-racist position, what you're actually doing is a hypocrisy. Like you're actually throwing hate into the hate-fueled fire. And he responded to me that I wouldn't, of course I would defend that race because I'm one of that race. And so therefore I of course I wouldn't see any other way. And it's like, I cannot understand how anyone right now could have any one race versus another race, how hypocritical that is. We're all actually in this together. We're not protesting against racial divide, we're protesting against injustice. And when there's one injustice, it's injustice against all of us. So, in the sense of coming for racial justice, you cannot throw one race group into the hate pile of fire without without creating a bunch more hate. And so I was reminded of the story that actually started me on my path. Because I thought, when I was much younger, what can I do? I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I'm not Condoleezza Rice. I'm not Hillary Clinton. I don't have political clout. I'm not from a political family, but what can I do in this time? And I had long been a fan. And so when I heard this story, I knew what my place was. And I hope to give this to you so that you know what you can do. Begin where you are. In 1926, there was a young high school teacher called Abel Murpool. He lived in New York, and when he opened up the paper that morning to have with his coffee, there was a picture of someone in the South, a black man hanging from a tree, a lynching, a picture of a lynching on the front page of the newspaper. And Abel Murpool was so affected and so distraught. he did not know what to do. And he lived in New York, and he just didn't know where he can put his energy, and where he can be affected, how he can be effective by being affected by this picture in the newspaper. So what he did, he couldn't sleep for 3 nights and 3 days, and what he did was he sat down and he wrote a poem. And he took that poem and he created a small tune around it. And eventually he brought it to, in those days in the 1920s with Prohibition, there were the speakeasies, these underground spoken word poetry kind of, that beatnik scene that people were going to. And he found, and somehow through the connections of people, he found Billie Holiday. And Abel Meerpool gifted Billie Holiday this poem that he had written. And from this poem that he had written, Billie Holiday wrote the song. It's called Strange Fruit. And it goes, strange fruit hanging from southern trees, blood on the roots and blood on the leaves. And that song became the battle cry, the mantra, the song that was able to then be used in the civil rights awareness that there are people who are being lynched and hung from trees. And it may not have affected the Jewish high school teacher in New York personally, and it may not affect people who are not living in the South or people who are not of that race, but it's affecting everyone somehow. Somehow we are all affected by injustice. And somehow, just like Abel Meerpool, who all he could do was write a poem, and just like Billie Holiday, where all she could do was write a song, somehow we are all here to provide that solution. We are all here to do what we can, what we're individually gifted to do in order to raise the awareness, write a poem, write a song, speak, march, protest, go political if that's what it is that you need to do, but we need to do something. And that something doesn't have to look like something huge. It could look like a poem, a letter, an article, a friendship, a Facebook post. It could look like a song. And it could even look like just going and Googling the song Strange Fruit and sitting with that and thinking, how is it that that song is almost 100 years old, and yet we're still singing that exact same song? I hope you go listen to the song and write me a message what you think of it. Until next time.